The Congress is demanding that the elections not be countermanded. In the midst of all of this, we've got breaking news coming in that former Prime Minister Devegowda has done a complete U-turn. He's now demanding that the elections be immediately countermanded. Moments before we started the newsroom, my colleague Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru spoke to the former Prime Minister. This is what Devegowda had to say.
See, all party issues is the Secretary General of the party, Mr. Danish Ali. He is approaching the Election Commission. So whatever Danish Ali has done, whether to extend the party election till November or so far as this parliament election, Rajya Sabha election, see, he has been authorized, nothing beyond that. You approach him and he will tell what he wants to say. I am not going to react anything more than this.
Very, very interesting this, wheels within wheels, because 72 hours ago when Pratibha Raman had interviewed Devegowda, he said the India Today investigation is bogus. He said there's no reason to cancel polls. He justified his MLAs asking for money, saying that what's the big deal? He asked us, do you hope to set this country right? Do you think you can fix things? Let's listen to what Devegowda, just parts of what Devegowda told us when we interviewed him on Thursday.
See, don't unnecessarily go on harassing as if you are going to clean up the system in this country. MLAs has not yet involved. They must try to make the same type of string operation if you have done it for the other 15 MLAs, where the Ramurthy wants to, he has drawn the money from the bank.
Complete change of mind this for Devegowda. What's prompting this change of mind? Right outside Devegowda's residence tonight is my colleague Pratibha Raman. She's joining us from there. Pratibha, you interviewed Devegowda. He was cursing our investigation, saying that this holds no weight. Now he's citing that same investigation to suggest that this is reason for the polls to be cancelled. He now suddenly agrees with what Danish Ali told Election Commission, and before that what Danish Ali told India Today. What's going on, Pratibha?
Well, in fact, there are two ways of looking at it, Rahul. Number one is the fact that H.D. Kumarasamy has already come out in the open and said that he is with Danish Ali and that he supports this entire decision of countermanding the election. So that leaves H.D. Devegowda in a bitter position. He has to definitely go in hand with what his son says, mainly because the JDS needs to, at this point in time, stand united. Another way of looking at it is the fact that perhaps this is also some sort of a fear that is actually reflecting in terms of Devegowda's statement, because number one, we have Farooq in a very difficult position at this point in time with the MLAs as well as the independent ones who have been holed up in Mumbai by the Congress party here. So that leaves Farooq in a difficult position at this point in time, because initially when his nomination was filed, we had some of the independent candidates who actually signed his nomination papers, but now they have been wooed by the Congress. So keeping all of this in mind, perhaps a sign of defeat and a sign of fear that is actually reflecting in the minds of the JDS leaders.
Very, very interesting this. Devegowda, complete U-turn by the former Prime Minister. First he was cursing our investigation, calling it bogus, calling it immaterial. Now he's citing that same investigation to say this is reason for the poll to be cancelled. In the midst of all of this, the Congress has taken 14 MLAs. We are told that 9 of them are independent MLAs, 5 are from the Congress party. They've been taken to the Marriott Hotel in Mumbai. Joining me from there tonight is my colleague Mustafa Sheikh. We saw these MLAs roaming around. Very clearly there's a fear that these MLAs will be poached. I also want to introduce my colleague Javed Ansari. He's tracking the Congress's strategy. He's also looking very carefully at what the EC is doing. But Mustafa, to you first, what are these MLAs doing? They don't want journalists there. They're trying to shove the journalists away. Viren Gunawat, our colleague, filmed some of these MLAs in the lobby at the Marriott Hotel. They were so upset, they got hold of his camera and forced him to delete all the footage. You're seeing some of those images. The MLAs are lounging. What's the bigger strategy behind bringing them to the Marriott, Mustafa?
Of course, Rahul, a lot of drama is expected till the Rajya Sabha polls of Karnataka do take place. It's clearly seeming like these people have been ordered to not be in touch with any person who is related to media or to other parties, and that's why they are hiding from the cameras. They were barely seen getting out of the JW Marriott hotel where they are staying for a day now. So it seems that they have been given strict instructions, and we don't know whether they have their own mobile phones with them or anything like that. But the strict order has been given that not to speak to media or any person who can damage the strategy of Congress, which seems to be likely to bring in that 12 independent MLAs to get that third seat of Rajya Sabha in there. Also, it's been said that they are soon planning to move out of this hotel and go somewhere else. So since till the time that June 9th come in, which June 10th there is an election scheduled. So till these days are over, they'll be taken to various places. They'll be kept like this. They don't have to interact with this. And also it seems like they have been given orders not to speak, especially to media, or to be seen on any camera, so that the strategy comes out in open, Rahul.
Thanks, Mustafa. The Election Commission is writing to the Law Ministry in the Modi government asking for an amendment to the Representation of People's Act 1951. They want Section 58A amended. The logic behind seeking this amendment is that currently only under Article 324 of the Indian Constitution can the EC invoke its special powers to countermand elections. Recently, 2 elections got countermanded for 2 seats in the assembly elections of Tamil Nadu. You can countermand an election if a poll booth gets captured. But because money power is used currently on a technicality, the EC doesn't immediately have a provision under the Representation of People's Act for the law to come into play and for that election to be cancelled. I want to go across to my colleague Javed Ansari, who's been speaking to the men who matter in the EC, the ones who are looking very carefully at this India Today investigation and the ones who will decide what to do. What are they telling you, Javed?
Well, what they're telling us is that first they're waiting for the electoral officer of Karnataka to send his report formally.
Why is he taking so much time? Why has he not sent his report so far?
Because, he'd asked for an unedited version. They're going through that. They need to first check the authenticity as well. The report should be here in a day or two. It's only then that the Election Commission then will
because we don't have much time. 11th of June is the election. We're already on the 6th of June. So there are only essentially 4 more days left. The 5th is the day of the election itself.
Yes, the 5th day is the election. So the Election Commission is seized. They need to go through the entire process. They can't be seen as acting in haste. There has to be a formal report from the electoral officer of Karnataka to enable the Election Commission to take action. Like you said earlier, the Election Commission is also hamstrung by the fact that the law is a bit ambiguous when it comes to bribe giving. The other thing is that no money has actually changed hands. There was this talk of intent, but actually in physical terms it didn't. So there are various things that need to be weighed.
Okay, so it comes down to the technicality. Thanks, Javed. I want to go across now to S.Y. Qureshi. He's one of India's best-known chief election commissioners. He's joining us on this broadcast, understands the election law in and out. And now we're seeing Mr. Qureshi. Atishi Marlena of the Aam Aadmi Party is with us. Sudhanshu Mittal is with us from the BJP. We've also got Danish Ali from the Janata Dal Secular. He promised us when he came on our 6 p.m. broadcast saying that Devegowda will speak. I must tell you, you have lived up to that promise. I have my own concerns. Let me start in fact with Danish, because Danish, what seems to have happened is Devegowda figured out that the JDS was losing this election, that the Congress was winning. So yours is not a moral or principle stand. Devegowda has changed his mind because he realized that Digvijay Singh and the Congress are winning. Therefore, he's now purely out of convenience come out and demanded that the Rajya Sabha election be cancelled, because if this was his original opinion, he would have said this when we interviewed him on Thursday. He didn't have to wait all this while. Danish?
Rahul, at 6 o'clock show you were saying that Danish Ali, you are not on the same page with Mr. Devegowda. Yesterday you were saying that you are not with the same page of what Mr. Kumaraswamy and Mr. Devegowda is. Now you are saying he has taken a U-turn because he has sensed that you are losing the election. From the day one, my position and my party's position is clear.
No, it's not that simplistic, Danish Ali. It's not that simplistic. If this was the original, one second. Let me pull out what Devegowda told us in the first instance.
What will be the sentence?
Danish Ali. Okay, now you're standing on a moral high horse. Now you are standing on a moral high horse and preaching to the nation. But why don't you see what Devegowda told us just 72 hours ago? Let's play out once again what Devegowda told India today 72 hours ago. He's changed his mind now. We will get into why. Let's listen to Devegowda earlier. The old comment of Devegowda first. Let's listen.
Funding amendment.
See, don't unnecessarily go on harassing as if you are going to clean up the system in this country. MLAs has not it involved. They must try to make the same type of string operation if you have done it for the other 15 MLAs, where the Ramurthy wants to, he has drawn the money from the bank.
This is not a man who can stand on a moral high horse, I'm sorry. Till 72 hours ago, he was telling us, don't think you can clean up this nation, this investigation means nothing. Now suddenly he's done a complete volte-face. Danish Ali, accept that you believe that you're losing this election, that you believe your candidate Farooq is going to be defeated by Ramamurthy of the Congress, which is why your leader has been forced to change his position and come around to what you've been saying from the first day.
No, what I am saying on behalf of the party. Don't segregate Danish Ali and JDS. Danish Ali is, what Danish Ali is talking on the television is as a Secretary General of JDS. Danish Ali has no local status. You would not have called me on your channel if I would not have been the Secretary General of the party.
I want to go across to S.Y. Qureshi because Dr. Qureshi was with us on the first day when we aired the first report. That's when Devegowda had taken a position. Dr. Qureshi, you've seen politicians and their games all your life. Do you see it's another game that's underway right now where Devegowda knows the ground is slipping under his feet, so suddenly he wants to jump on a moral plank, a plank he was unwilling to touch just 72 hours ago. Dr. Qureshi.
Rahul, I would not like to make a political comment. But if you want to understand the technicality of the process, I'll be happy to.
Yes, I want to understand from you the technicality, because now we know Naseem Zaidi and his team of election commissioners are looking very carefully at these tapes. They're trying to see what can they do. They've also told us that they're looking for an amendment to the Representation of People's Act. That will happen later if the Law Ministry accepts it at all. What can happen in this case? On the basis of all that you've heard and understood so far, do you believe that tomorrow Naseem Zaidi can announce that these polls need to be countermanded or postponed?
Yes, it is possible. I think Javed Ansari summed it up very well. He was in touch with the Election Commission. They are waiting for the report from the CEO. CEO would have seen your tapes. He would make a transcript. There would be some conversation in Kannada that will be translated. All that will come. And obviously, the Election Commission should be not seen to be acting in haste. They have to make it a legally foolproof case and tight case. And as soon as the report comes, we still have 5 days. Remember, Jharkhand poll was countermanded at the end of the day. So you still have 5 days. So I think you should give reasonable time to the Election Commission.
Okay, let me also tell our viewers what happened in Jharkhand, because at that time, S.Y. Qureshi was very closely involved. Let's show our viewers what happened in Jharkhand, because at that time, a candidate had actually cash had actually been recovered. Physical cash had been recovered in the Jharkhand case. So that was the big difference, because remember, unlike now where there is only an intention to accept money which has been expressed in Jharkhand, actual cash had been recovered, and that really was the big difference between what happened then and what happened now. Do you see similarities, Dr. Qureshi? Let me just play that out in a moment. Show that to our viewers. Do you see similarities between the Jharkhand case and this case? Because what happened in Jharkhand was that there were elections for 2 Rajya Sabha seats which were countermanded in 2012. Why did the EC countermand these elections? Because at that time, 7 candidates were in the contest for 2 seats. In the car of one of the candidates' relatives, cash was found. Each candidate at that time had to secure 27 votes. This is in 2012. The Election Commission received 3 complaints and 2.15 crore rupees was seized. 2.15, there was an actual physical seizure. The Election Commission asked the returning officers not to declare the results. This happened on the day of the polling. So, Dr. Qureshi, there is a difference There is a difference and there is a similarity. The difference is there is no physical cash, that's the technicality. The similarity is that very clearly horse trading is taking place. That desire has been expressed on camera by these MLAs who are asking for cash. Do you see, on the basis of your experience from Jharkhand, that this is actually a place where even now Naseem Zaidi can invoke 324 of the Constitution, Article 324, which gives him extraordinary powers. Even if the Representation of People's Act doesn't allow it, you can use extraordinary powers and cancel the polls if you believe that what's happening is wrong.
Yes. No, actually, Rahul, you have summed it up very well. That is the difference, because in the Jharkhand case, we actually were able to see some cash. Even at that time, our dilemma was that if we countermand and the matter goes to court, which it did, they will say that there is no conclusive evidence that this money was meant for election, and that is the stand that they took. That they said they're going to buy some property. Of course, we dismissed it, and we took a chance that judiciary will stand by us, and finally they did. They applauded this attempt of this decision of Election Commission, called it the most decisive action against corruption in 60 years, and imposed a fine of 1 lakh rupees on the petitioner. So I think now Election Commission has two the precedent now. One of itself, Election Commission's decision, and the judicial support.
Okay, I want to bring in my other guest. I want to go across to Atishi Marlena, because there is a technicality and there is morality. Morality says this poll must be cancelled. Technicality says the Representation of People's Act doesn't immediately allow it. Which way do you think Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi and his team should weigh in? Atishi Marlena from AAP.
I think, Rahul, the matter is absolutely clear, and Mr. S.Y. Qureshi has also said the matter, that there are extraordinary powers. Once, of course, the case is strong. But however, the fact that the Election Commission is not acting so far is definitely a matter of worry. It raises a concern in our own minds whether the Election Commission, there is pressure upon the Election Commission, because they could have acted much faster. This matter has been in the public domain via your channel and another channel now for the past 4 days. Number two, the Election Commission is well aware of the fact that money always does the rounds in elections. Be it the Rajya Sabha elections, be it Lok Sabha elections, be it Assembly elections. Before elections, Assembly and Lok Sabha, money and liquor is doing the rounds. It's an open secret. Therefore, I think the Election Commission should act swiftly, should act decisively. And I think that all parties need to take a stand on this.
I want to bring in Nasir Hussain of the Congress party as well, because I'm hearing from the Janata Dal Secular, I'm hearing from the BJP. Yes, that's right. I want to go to the Congress. Nasir Hussain, why is the Congress taking a patently immoral decision? Why is the Congress not weighing in on the side of morality, saying the atmosphere has been completely vitiated, there is no option but for the elections to be cancelled? Why are you putting party interest before national interest?
In taking money for vote, but have they asked any political party or any candidate has given them money, has money exchange hands?
I'm sorry, whom are they asking for votes? They're not appealing to Santa Claus. If they want the money, they want it from one of the candidates. Who else will they take the money from? Why is the Congress living in complete denial? If money is being asked for, who will you ask for money from? You will ask for the money from one of the candidates. Who else will you get the money from?
Have they spoken to the candidate? Have they spoken to the candidate?
Of course they've spoken to the candidates. Where else is the money being asked from? Did you hear the conversation? Should I play out parts of that conversation for you? Because they're saying we have been offered 3 crore rupees from the candidates on camera. MLAs have been captured by the India Today Special Investigation Team asking for cash. They're also talking about counter offers. Who's making these counter offers? Should this not be probed? Till the time this is probed, should the election not be postponed?
Mr. Kanwal, is there any evidence of the candidate offering them money, or these people going and talking to the candidate? Is there any evidence on that point?
I'm sorry, so you actually want to see physical cash being given? Do you realize if a journalist is involved in an operation like that, it's a direct offence under the Prevention of Corruption Act, and we ourselves would imperil the lives of our journalists if we were to do something like that. We don't do this. Now the point is, I want to go across to Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP, because the BJP initially was ambivalent, but now, one second, I've heard you, I hear you. I want to go across to Sudhanshu Mittal, because the Congress is saying, show us the cash. If you don't show us the cash, the conversation means nothing. Do you believe this is a totally immoral, imprincipled position for the Congress to have taken?
Absolutely ridiculous position, appalling position. And let me enlighten my friend Mr. Nasir. In the sting, the MLA clearly says, I have been approached and I have been offered 3 crores. Now, if the Congress had any seriousness on the matter, they should have asked for a police inquiry immediately. A case we registered on the basis of an admission by a MLA saying I have been offered 3 crores. Secondly, then subsequently these 2 people say this is the kind of money I want. One says 5 crores, one says 10 crores.
Play that out, Sudhanshu.
So
Stay with
what?
me.
There
Three
is
quick bites. I want Nasir Hussain and everyone in the Congress party to listen to this, because they're not asking for a Christmas gift from Santa Claus. They're expecting money in this election and they're expecting it from the candidates. And if you're a JDS MLA, you're expecting the money from the Congress. If you're an independent MLA, you're happy to take it from anyone. In any case, one of the independent MLAs tells us very cockily, independence hai lene ka. Independent MLA hone ka yahi to point hai. Nasir Hussain, listen very carefully to the 3 comments that follow from these MLAs, our elected representatives in Karnataka. Listen to this. Nasir, listen carefully.
नहीं, मेरा पूछने का है, ये वोट चाहिए मेरा, तो बात करते हैं, 10 वोट चाहिए, 10 वोट का बात करते हैं, 2 वोट चाहिए, 2 वोट का बात करते हैं।
तो 10 वोट हमें चाहिए सर, आप क्या सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, कैसे आप वो करवा सकते हैं, कैसे मैनेज हो सकता है, वो आप बताइए।
क्या देना चाहते हैं
सर? What is your expectation?
नहीं, करोड़ 2 करोड़ ऊपर में वोट कोई नहीं डालता, ये ध्यान में रखा के चलो। करोड़ 2 करोड़ में कोई वोट देता नहीं।
तो लेट्स से एक काम करते हैं सर, व्हाट अबाउट यू? अभी हम आपकी बात कर लेते हैं।
चलो मेरा बात करो, मेरा जो चुनाव का खर्च है आप दे दो।
कितना है सर?
नो प्रॉब्लम, मैं तो बोला ना अबव 5 बोल के पहले।
So whatever amount.
What is that from your side? What was the fixed that done for vote?
No fixed amount. We want vote at any cost. That's all. As simple as that.
What is up to how much you go? You got 10 crore?
Don't worry, you will get.
Don't worry.
If the father-in-law vote in favor of the candidate, then we'll give you 10 also. 10. थोड़ा मैच देखने हैं तो
हम पॉलिटिकल मैच भी देख लें।
पॉलिटिकल मैच भी देख लें।
फ्री ऑफ क्या?
पॉलिटिकल मैच क्या था?
ये जो राज्य सभा इलेक्शन का मैच, उसमें ध्यान नहीं आता।
तो बिहार से पार्टी मिलने वाली है बोलते हो, कुछ कह रहे हैं?
वो किस लिए पार्टी है?
कुछ दोस्तों के हिस्से में भी आना चाहिए।
क्या?
पूरा हजम नहीं होता ना, कुछ उसमें परसेंटेज निकालना है।
Okay, you just heard in the comments that we played out, elected representatives asking for cash. Now, I want to go across to S.Y. Qureshi first, because the Congress is saying that they're talking about cash, but there's no actual cash exchange. There's an offer that is made, they accept that offer. That doesn't mean it's a real offer. And of course it's not a real offer. When our reporters went to see where the horse trading is taking place, they won't just start talking about taking cash unless you build a context and say cash is available. Then you check whether they're actually willing to accept that cash or not. It's very clear that cash was acceptable to these MLAs, but the Congress's defense, Dr. Qureshi, is that no cash actually exchanged hands. Is that a compelling enough defense in your view?
Well, I think offering bribe or demanding bribe, they are attempted bribe, and attempt is as much criminal as commission of the offence. That's my feeling.
Attempt is as much of a criminal offence as the actual commission, because surely, Nasir Hussain, morality has some role to play in all of this. You can't have MLAs saying we will sell our votes and still think that the election will happen in a completely non-vitiated atmosphere. How can the Congress even say that?
Mr. Rahul, you should try and understand that we don't need any extra votes. For our third candidate to win, we have enough votes. We have not approached any independent candidate or the MLAs of any political party. Neither we are after any extra votes, because we have sufficient votes for our third candidate. So what is the need for us to go and approach? And anyway, there is no evidence from any congressman going and approaching anyone and offering money. And as far as Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal taking a high moral ground, let me just remind him the entire system of horse trading and resort politics was started by Mr. Yediyurappa and BJP in Karnataka. Congress has nothing to do with it. Even now we have enough votes and we are winning. If the elections are conducted, we are winning the election. All three candidates of ours will get elected in a very smooth way.
Sudhanshu Mittal wants to come in and respond, because I'm going to show you the numbers game in just a moment. But before that, let's listen to Sudhanshu Mittal.
Rahul, let Mr. Nasir know that they have a chief minister who has been caught on camera offering money to his own MLAs to save his government. The most appalling, the first time in the history of India that a chief minister has been caught on camera offering money to his own MLAs, and they are talking about having no need. Secondly, if there was any sincerity, has a police investigation been ordered by the chief minister? I just want to know this. No. Nothing has happened. Thirdly, this distinction of money being recovered or not recovered is artificial. For the simple reason, when you look at the Jharkhand case also,
because you know what we are hearing the Congress say. You are right, because what we are hearing the Congress say is that they don't need extra votes. Let me show that to our viewers in just a moment from now. Here it is, the Karnataka numbers game. I want to recall this. Just hold this for a moment. The Congress in Karnataka has 123 MLAs. Remember, with 45 MLAs, you can get one Rajya Sabha seat through. So there are two Congress candidates who get through, but they put up 3 candidates. So they are short of winning 2 seats, but for the last candidate, they need 12. Nasir Hussain, you still need 12, out of which there are 14 MLAs who are independents. They say that they've got 8 MLAs on their side. Even if I add those 8, they are still short of 4. So Nasir Hussain, your numbers are not right. If things are the way they are, you are still short of 4, and you have to find some reason for these 4 MLAs to back you. And from our investigation, it's clear that that reason seems to be money. You are still 4 short, even if I add the independent MLAs who are backing you, which is why you've created this big tamasha, taken those MLAs to the Marriott in Mumbai. Otherwise, why would they be in the Marriott? They would be in Bengaluru at their home. They wouldn't be ensconced in a comfortable room in a Marriott hotel in Mumbai if there wasn't a problem. Why didn't you accept this?
See, now you can understand why the JDS Supremo is asking, has taken a U-turn and asking for a countermanding of the election. Because earlier they were all after these independent candidates and our associate members. Once these associate members and independent MLAs are through in one place, now they feel that they are losing the game. That's why they are asking
my
for the countermanding of
question.
election.
You are not answering my question. I am saying you are still 4 MLAs short. You are still 4 MLAs short. Where are you getting these 4 MLAs from? Why will they vote for the Congress party?
They have on why shouldn't they vote for the Congress party? Why shouldn't they vote for the Congress party? Or why should they vote for some other party?
Okay,
so
let Sudhanshu Mittal come in on this.
BJP or
okay,
JDS, they are voting for the same
okay, Sudhanshu, they're saying that because these MLAs have agreed to vote for the Congress, therefore you're upset. Sudhanshu.
Sir, Mr. Nasir, if I understand arithmetic, the arithmetic is with 8 MLAs in Mumbai, you are still short of 4. And because you are short of 4, you have been indulging in all kind of horse trading, including trying to poach on the JDS MLAs, which we saw on the camera. See, you have been making all your efforts, and this is well known, this is no rocket science. After all, JDS MLAs, if when they say they have been offered 3 crores, who would offer them? Their own party men. It is only your party which has offered them. And because you knew you had offered them, you did not order for an investigation. And today, numerically also, you are short of 4. Then you are saying, why do we need more? Why do we need more? Please get your arithmetic correct. Yes, you may have already purchased 4 MLAs and then you are sure that you don't need any. That could be a different story. But
okay, Atishi Marlena also from the House, because what we are seeing is the Congress say that these MLAs have had a change of heart and they've agreed to vote for us.
Sudhanshu
You can't
Mittal,
prove, Atishi, that cash has exchanged hands. All you have is the intent to accept a bribe, not the actual process of giving and accepting a bribe. I want to listen to Atishi Marlena. This is turning farcical now.
Absolutely, farcical is the word, Rahul, and what our colleague from the Congress is saying is just plain and utter rubbish. The reason it's rubbish is because even if they're saying that their candidate was not offering money, accepting money, why are they not letting a probe happen? Why does Digvijay Singh need to go to the election commission and say, please make the election happen? If they're so confident that their candidate is going to win, countermand this election, hold the election again. If you can win the election fairly, if you can do it today, you can do it tomorrow. Number one. Number two, though, I do think that my colleague from the BJP, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, is the last person who should be saying much on all this, because after all, their party is the one who was involved in sending someone like Vijay Mallya into the Rajya Sabha themselves. Just a few days ago, they have sent Preeti Mahapatra, the wife of a Gujarat jeweler, as a Rajya Sabha member from UP. So I think that the politics of what the BJP is doing is absolutely clear. It just happens that the Congress MLA
Sudhanshu wants to respond. Yes, Sudhanshu, go ahead.
It's equally likely that the BJP has been involved in similar politics.
I don't think she knows that Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who's been awarded as the best parliamentarian and who's been an industrialist and who's been an independent MLA from Karnataka itself, was also sent by BJP. She also does not know that Rahul Bajaj, the most acclaimed of all industrialists in terms of his ethical values, was also... Allow me to finish. Allow me to finish.
No, I don't want both guests speaking at the same time. Turn Atishi's fader down for a moment. Atishi, don't speak at the same time. Just one at a time. Yes, absolutely. I like some decorum in this debate, please. Some decorum, please. Yes, one by one. Let Sudhanshu complete, then Atishi.
So the last of the political parties talking morality is not Aam Aadmi Party. And one more thing, Begani Shadi mein Abdullah Diwana, Aam Aadmi Party is not even present in Karnataka. I am very surprised, Rahul, that they should have been here on this panel. They don't have an MLA. Their own conduct in Delhi, where their ministers are caught, where their ministers are cheating and they have to be sent to jail before they have to resign. They still continue to be in their party.
You made that point. Atishi, I give you 20 seconds to respond. Okay, I hear you, Sudhanshu. Turn that down. 20 seconds to Atishi to respond.
We take... Let's be very clear, Sudhanshu, we take action against anyone who's corrupt. The moment we find evidence, be it a minister, be it an MLA, be a party member,
okay, in the last part of this first segment, I want to play now. I want to play because I want to focus our attention. I want to focus our attention on the story that we're discussing tonight. Let's not get diverted onto other stories. Let's focus on the issue at hand. We spoke to Sadanand Gowda. He's the former Chief Minister of Karnataka. He's currently a law minister. He's the one to whom the representation is being made by the EC, seeking that the law be amendment. The law of the Representation of People's Act, which gives the EC the right to countermand polls if bribes are given. Let's listen to what Sadanand Gowda told my colleague Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru.
So first and foremost, the Election Commission seeking the help of the Law Ministry to make amendments in the People's Representation Act. Is that going to be taken into consideration?
So practically, we ourselves, the government, took up certain initiatives to have electoral reforms. So we referred the matter to the Law Commission, and Law Commission has given 2 reports to us. Already the report is with us, with the Ministry of Law and Justice. We have formed a small committee to look into the various areas of the report. Now I am waiting for the committee's report. As soon as I get the report, we will go for wider consultation with the stakeholders.
Different authorities who have been saying that this needs to be countermanded, especially with the corruption that has come to light.
I do consider, I don't dispute that. But in spite of that, just without verifying the incidents, each and every case has to be dealt separately, and it should be in-depth inquiry should be done. Then only we should go ahead. If any individual who has had some dealings of money transfer and all that, he should be dealt with seriously. But unnecessarily, the other innocent persons who are not involved just postpone the election. What about the fate of the other people? This should be taken care of.
So what about the Congress who, there's speculation that some of the independent MLAs who have been holed up in Mumbai there?
It's a shameful act. That only I can say.
Will you be taking action, sir, against that?
No, that is the Election Commission. It is an autonomous body. The Election Commission has to take action against it.
The country's law minister there, Devegowda, hitting out at the Congress for escorting MLAs to Mumbai, and it does raise suspicion, Dr. Qureshi, about why these MLAs would be herded in a hotel in Mumbai unless something were amiss. So the Congress were afraid that they'd vote for the JDS. There'd be no reason for these MLAs to be whisked away, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, this is a very old phenomenon. About 20-30 years ago, when Ayaram, Gayaram was coined, when the entire assembly or half the assembly would be transported to some tourist places, and since then it has been happening on and off and on in various measures.
Okay, this is where I'm ending part one of the newsroom tonight, and I want to leave our viewers with these images of the four men who currently need to decide. These are the people everyone in India is currently looking up to. Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi, his two election commissioners, A.K. Jyoti. A.K. Jyoti is a new entrant into the Election Commission, and then there's Om Prakash Rawat. The three of them are the ones who will ultimately take the decision. The man who has to submit the report, P.N. Srinivasachari, is the Chief Electoral Officer of Karnataka. It is he and his team who have to first submit the report, which the Chief Election Commissioner and his two election commissioners will then look at. These are the men who have to decide whether the poll will be cancelled or not. Make no mistake, the atmosphere is completely, totally vitiated. This is undeniable. Money is being sought for, and the money is not coming, as I said, from Santa Claus. The money is coming from the candidates who are contesting this election.